This is the Einscan Libre, a $30,000 3D scanner. So let's talk about who it's for. All right, guys, so we got a very special guest today. The one and only Eric Lau has come down from Shining 3D, and we're going to go over the Einscan Libre and some of the standout features, what it's really about, who it's really for, and the best use cases for it. Available at visionminer.com. Once again, we do sell all this stuff along with 3D printers, 3D scanners, you name it, and we're here to help you find the right equipment for your business and your actual application. Give us a call, shoot us an email. That's what we're here to do. We listen to you. We basically assess your whole situation. We'll do a free live video demo. You can even send us a part and we'll do it in front of you and all of that. So give us a call, shoot us an email. We'll find something that's right for you if we have it. And if we don't, we'll tell you that. If we don't sell it, but you need something else, we will tell you that. When you're going to be spending, upwards of 25 to 30 grand on a scanner for a professional business, you need to know if it's right for you, if your application really fits the bill. So we're going to discuss and go over all that. Eric, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be able to share more about this new scanner, the Einscan Libre, and talk more about what we've been seeing over the last few months and really dive deep into what it's good for. I know a lot of you guys have questions about what it can do, what it can't do, and so we're going to talk more about that here.
Okay, so we're going to go into an overview of the features and what makes it stand out, and then we're going to do a little bit of practical and show you what the different modes are for on, I believe, a forklift today.
Yeah.
Because it is geared towards larger objects. It's one of its strengths, but you can also do very small, detailed objects, yeah?
Yeah, so it's got a little bit of everything. It's a really large, sort of medium to large object, and it's got black reflective surfaces and more shiny surfaces as well. So that kind of goes to show how well the Einscan Libre can tackle something really large and something that has those more tricky surfaces, which other scanners would struggle with.
So let's do a quick over. Einscan Libre, fully wireless scanner. You've got basically a computer in the scanner, so you can do all the workflow on the scanner itself, or you can plug it into the computer. You get two batteries with it, so you can hot swap and keep scanning, even if it runs out of battery during a scan. You've got infrared lights, you've got infrared lasers, you've got blue light lasers, so you have the full gamut to cover anything. And on top of that, it has a color camera for color capture if you need that.
Exactly.
What else did I miss?
You forgot that it's an amazing scanner, all-in-one units, and I don't think you have anything else because that was 4 different things all in one scanner.
Dude, so what we've noticed is people actually that go into the field, that are sending techs out into the field to scan usually large equipment, agricultural equipment, industrial equipment, boxes, big electrical boxes. These guys all gravitate for it. Or towards it because they can train their guys, send them out with the case. It comes in a big Pelican hard case, send them out into the field, grab the scan, bring it back, let the engineers and everything deal with it. But it's very easy to train on. So we've seen companies buying multiples of these for their entire team across the nation, and it just makes sense. The wireless part really makes a huge difference. You don't have to tether it to a laptop in the field, right?
Exactly. I mean, imagine just 2 years ago, we would have to use a scanner and bring our laptop with us. And to be out in the field, in the sun, scanning a large truck or forklift or something like that, it's going to be really hard to be able to look at what you're scanning and also see what is being captured on your laptop. So now you don't have to worry about all the cables. You don't have to worry about the power source. You can just bring this scanner, the Einscan Libre, out to the location where you're scanning. You don't need any preparation, and you can just whip out the scanner and start capturing. And you don't have to worry about whether it's going to be able to capture enough data or see what is actually, if it's going to be able to capture it, because we do have those 3 different modes that you can switch between to capture those more difficult, more complex areas.
So let's maybe dive into those 3 modes real quick. We've got the different types of lasers, the infrared. Can you tell me a bit about what each mode is for?
All right, so let's go into the infrared rapid mode. So what is the infrared rapid? Well, it's able to capture a large amount of area very quickly because it has a very large field of view.
So this is sort of like the H2 where it's only infrared. Well, it's infrared and color and other stuff, but the infrared, or on the FreeScan combo with the infrared, where it's
Yeah.
like you can track by features. You don't need to put markers all over the part, and you can do something very large very quickly.
Exactly.
Same technology.
Same technology, but the field of view on the Libre is actually larger.
Much
than these
larger.
two. Not much larger, a
Well,
little bit larger.
Okay.
But it does focus more on scanning the mechanical components. So more similar to the FreeScan combo infrared mode, more so than the H2 infrared mode. Because that one
Okay.
focuses more on scanning people.
People, bio objects, stuff that's going to move slightly. Okay. Okay. So infrared mode, big objects very quickly.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one would be the infrared adaptive mode, which is going to be infrared lasers. So when we use the infrared rapid mode, it does struggle when it comes to reflective or shiny surfaces. So if you go on any automobile or motorcycle, you'll find that you have these black, glossy, or more shiny surfaces. And infrared rapid scanning, usually it does pretty well on these surfaces, but when it becomes more shiny, there's absolutely no LED light source that can capture these surfaces. So, for example, if the Einscan series, they use white LEDs and sometimes blue LEDs, and also with the Arctic Leo, it uses white LEDs as well. And that struggles on the shiny black reflective surfaces, and you'll have to use scan spray in order to mat the surface down and capture that. Now, with the infrared adaptive mode and also the laser HD mode, which we'll talk about later, you don't need to use scan spray on these surfaces. So you can actually capture seamlessly without any scan spray.
Shiny surfaces, which used to basically scatter all the light. So if you're using an HX2 or a FreeScan or something with reflective light, even lasers a lot of the time struggle because it just scatters all the light and it can't triangulate what's happening. But the infrared doesn't suffer from that.
Yeah.
Huh.
There is one caveat with the infrared adaptive mode. It's that we do need to use markers when we're scanning. As we all know, markers, when people hear markers, they're like, oh, I don't want to put markers down. We probably don't want to do that. But we will have to say markers do provide higher accuracy to the scan. So it is a good thing to be able to use markers in your scan or have the capability to put markers for the scanner to track them so that you do get the higher accuracy data that would be useful for reverse engineering or for some quality control applications.
Now, a lot of people probably have used scanners in the past and are like, oh, markers, man, I used to take all this time and you got to put them every 2 to 3 inches. What does that look like on the on this mode? How many markers, how sparse or how dense do you have to make them?
It's going to be, if you have seen from the videos to the FreeScan combo, it is going to be very similar to that unit. The field of view will determine how many markers you need to put on the objects. So with the FreeScan combo, you don't have to put that many markers when it's a smooth, flat object or surface. But when there's more edges, more corners, you'll want to put more markers because when you're shifting that scanner around, it needs to be able to see that difference or that difference in angle and similar markers as it kind of shifts through those angles.
Okay.
So more markers when there's more corners, more complex features, and less markers when it's a smooth, flat area.
Okay, and field of view, I mean, that makes total sense. So say you're scanning something and the projection area, which is the field of view, is about that big. You need to have 3 or more, like 3 minimum markers within that area. Whereas if you have a larger viewing window, then you can put those markers farther apart.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the next mode?
The next mode is the laser HD mode. And this is something that is only available on the Einscan Libre. It hasn't been introduced in any other 3D scanner on the market. What's special about it is that it uses 101 parallel laser lines, which actually gives the capability to scan in lasers without markers and just focus on the shape and the features of the parts to create a 3D model. If you look at a laser scanner traditionally from our competitors, Creoform, or Scantech, they have to use markers when they use the laser scanner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they don't have enough lasers in there to be able to capture a full field of view, a full frame of data to align with features. Now, with this laser HD mode in the Einscan Libre, you can do that. You can align with features, and you can get the higher resolution data that you would traditionally get with these laser scanners.
Okay, so basically you got so many laser lines going out, 101 laser lines. That's a lot.
101.
So it's got so many lines, and instead of being crosshatched, they're parallel, so that when you project it on something, you're not a topographical map, but like you're getting one of those, almost an illustration,
Yeah.
line illustration.
Exactly.
And it's reading the features from that.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Also, in the laser HD mode, you're able to scan in color, which is unheard of in any other scanner.
Oh,
So that means-
yes, this is huge.
Yeah.
Guys, this is insane. This blew me away when I was like, yeah, okay, explain it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this means that you're able to capture high resolution data, which is traditionally only available in laser scanners, and you're able to capture the color as well. That means you get high resolution data and high color resolution as well, and that makes it so you get high resolution 3D model of these artworks.
Like a museum or
Like,
something.
yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
And if you can imagine, it's really great for paleontology or archaeology or for museums, because you're able to create a really high quality representation of these pieces, of not only the shape and features, but the color,
Yeah.
which you can store or share online.
So like AR or VR, or I mean, there's a lot of digital 3D models on museum websites or at universities.
Yeah.
So we can begin integrating anything we scan into that world,
Yep.
really.
And you can imagine with AR and VR technology nowadays, a lot of it is with lower resolution data, but there are companies out there that are working on creating more 4K or
Yep.
8K resolution, and this is what they need. They need
Yeah.
something that has high resolution features and high resolution color data.
Dude, shout out. Global Objects is one of our customers. They do some incredible work with that in Hollywood and special effects, and they're using the laser scanners like the FreeScan combo, a combination. I believe they may do most of the color in post, or some H2. But they're incredible what they're creating for the AR, VR environments, and video games and just special effects in general. One thing with the color too is like it is great to scan a person and then print them out full color, or scan artwork and whatnot like that. But I've also seen industrial customers sometimes they have a big piece of equipment and it's got stickers on it, or it's got paint in different lines and different markings, and so they may not need the color for the color or to reproduce the part, but it's actually just another reference point that they
Yeah.
also capture from the scan. So maybe it's even like, hey, there's a large thing and it's got these rusty spots on it that
Yep.
might not come out in just the geometry, but they'll capture all the color and they'll know if they're going out to fix something. Or like we had this one customer and he was they create parts that fix leaks in large industrial pipes. So they'll go out and they'll scan this whole valve system that's leaking, and they'll create something that basically encapsulates that and stops the leak.
Wow.
But it's very complex and interesting, and there's different areas on it.
Yeah, color plays a huge part in a scan. In most cases, people don't really talk about it, but you can get a lot of detail from just the color. One example, I think not in the industrial case, but more on scanning people. There's in a lot of these scanners, you're not able to capture pore detail or maybe some of your wrinkles or stuff like that. But if you capture color as well, you're able to see that information and you're able to replicate that data in another software
Yeah.
when you want to add in more details to the 3D model.
So if you're scanning a guy, and you might get the geometry of his face, but the geometry won't show a 5 o'clock shadow. That's going to be in the color data.
Exactly.
Nice. So then, of course, those are the standout features, but then, of course, you can always do the regular blue laser 3D scanning where you put markers on it and use the blue lasers that way.
Yeah. One thing that I would like to add here
Yeah.
is that we didn't really talk about aligning the data. And if you've seen all the other videos, you know that 3D scanning has 3 different ways of aligning data. It's with feature alignments, which is by aligning the shape and the unique features on the object together.
Automatically within the software.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's marker alignments, which is by using those reflective dots that you place around the object that the scanner can see and track. And there's color alignments, which is by aligning the data, different areas of the part, based on the unique color profile. So if we have a painting that is smooth, flat, or with maybe some features from the brushstroke, we won't be able to use feature alignments with this kind of object. But we can align that together based on the unique color profile of the objects.
And then in the H2, that's texture alignment.
Yes.
Texture, color, texture. In 3D scanning, texture is the color.
Exactly.
And geometry is the geometry.
Yes. Yeah, that's one specification we have to make clear.
Terms. It's important to define terms in communication.
Yeah. So on the Einscan Libre, you have these 3 different alignment methods, and you can choose between those 3. So you can either do just feature alignments, you can do feature alignments or and color alignments, or you can do feature alignment and markers alignments, or you can do marker alignments and color alignments. And so that's available in the infrared rapid mode and the laser HD mode, which is unheard of, again, with any other 3D scanner on the market.
Love it. I love it. Now there's another mode, of course, manual mode.
Yeah.
Right? Where you pick points on the different scans and then align them together, which is obviously a last resort, but you do get that too. It's a powerful little device. You know what? Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is the Libre? Where's the Libre? Anyone? So, I mean, it's just a powerful device. I mean, you've got all these different sensors on the front. On the back, you've got this beautiful screen. I love the way you guys have done the hardware with the battery hot swap. You just pull it right out like that.
Which means that you can pause the scan at any time when you're scanning an object. If you run out of batteries, you can just swap the battery and just jump right into scanning.
And does it automatically pause if you run out?
Yes.
That's awesome. See, that's really taken the workflow in the field and implementing it into the hardware and software. That's so great. And just to clarify, it's not hot swap in the traditional sense of like a server hard drive. It is, if it runs out of battery, it saves your work and shuts itself down, and you can put a new battery right in and then start back right where you left off. So not technically hot swap, but the closest thing you can get in 3D scanning, right?
Yep.
One thing I love too is the projection, the green laser that's on this to project your viewing window.
Yeah.
Super cool. We
Really
see
useful.
that on really high-end scanners.
Yeah, it just we found that if you have such a large field of view, you need some way to be able to tell where it ends. So to have the laser to figure out where your focus is, it just kind of helps people who don't really have that great hand-eye coordination, but also be able to figure out where everything is as well. And so when you're scanning a large object, that's really helpful to be able to figure out what you're actually scanning and how much space or what other areas you need to capture along the way.
Just makes it easier. Little quick thing on connectivity. A couple things they've got. You have the power button down here. So you've got USB-C, USB-A, and then under this little flap here, you have Category 7 Ethernet port.
There's actually a computer on the scanner itself that can process all of this data, and you can save it out on a USB drive. So you don't actually need a laptop with you in the field to process the data. You can just process it on the scanner, put your USB drive in there, just take it out, and then you can send it off to the engineers.
And this connects to Wi-Fi as well. Can you just send it over the air?
You could connect to our Shining 3D Cloud server, upload that data on there, and then whoever logs in, someone in your team in another state over could log into that same account and download the information and use it from that.
So it's sort of like an account thing where you upload it to your account and then you can grab it. Can you do a direct Wi-Fi transfer?
So there is a local Wi-Fi network, but we don't use it to transfer data. What we use it for is to mirror the screen of the scanner onto a TV, which we call casting, right?
Yeah.
So you can cast that screen to your Samsung TV or to your laptop as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing in our videos is we'll cast it to the screen and record the screen. That's how we show you the interface and everything like that. So that works great. You can have it on a big screen for demonstration or training purposes or just for fun.
Yeah, you can also cast it to your iPad or any other tablet.
Can you just explain, like, what are all these little things doing?
Yeah.
Do you think you can take a whack at that? Like, we got a lot of different sensors, a lot of different lights,
Right.
a lot of different lasers and LEDs. What's sort of going on in each region? We got all these cameras, we got all these lights, we got all these LEDs, laser projectors. Can you walk through which is which?
Yeah, there's a lot on here, and I can simplify this for you guys. So on the ends of this, of the cross, we have the black and white cameras, which are for capturing the geometry of the objects. And then over here in the middle, where the yellow LEDs are, this is the color camera, which we have a 48 megapixel color camera on here.
48 megapixels.
48 megapixels,
So
yeah.
like the H2, if you guys go back and watch that video, we scan a guy, you see beads of sweat on like every little detail. This is 10 times that almost.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, next.
So over here, we have the Laser HD 101 laser line projector. This projects the infrared adaptive cross-hatched laser lines. On top is the infrared LEDs for the infrared rapid mode. And over here on the bottom is the green indicator that would help you when you're scanning.
That's when it draws the box and shows you what you're scanning.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's an NVIDIA GPU, an Intel CPU, a terabyte of memory, a bunch of RAM, everything. This is a full onboard computer, which this is great. So if you're on a 2-hour trip somewhere and you go out and scan something on the way back, if you're not the one driving, you could do all the work on the way back just on the scanner itself.
Yeah.
How about we go do a little bit of practical and show it off a little bit and try these modes out?
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, so we've got a forklift, and let's just, like, each different mode has a different, situation it lends itself to. So let's just go over that real quick, and we'll pick the first mode, and what would be the best area to use that mode for?
The first mode is the infrared rapid mode, and this mode is really great at capturing the full shape and all the surfaces of the part very quickly, just so you can get a very nice spatial reference of the dimensions of the objects.
Okay, so sort of like the main body, probably those beams, this general whole thing, it'll capture it in lower detail, but not necessarily super, super fine.
Exactly.
Okay, let's check that out. Let's see what that looks like real quick. By the way, guys, the way we got this set up working is that we have the Libre casting to this computer. So we're recording this so we can show you in full screen, and he's doing everything on the Libre itself.
Currently, it's using the infrared rapid mode, and we're using the alignment mode of hybrid, which is using both features and texture. And then for the resolution, we are selecting a 1.5 millimeter resolution just because we don't really need high detail on this. We just want some good data to work with so that we have some dimensions to work off of. We can also turn on texture, which is color, in case there is some color information that we want to take in from this data. And after we set those settings, we can click start. And now we are entering into the preview. So in the preview, there is a real-time preview of the data that's being captured. And this will help you figure out what you're going to be capturing. So I'm just going to hit start. You can see it starts capturing that data.
And by the way, guys, if you want to see more detail on like how these modes work, we're doing a separate video after this, scanning this and going much more in depth. So make sure you subscribe to see that video. It's just picking it up very fast. And I love the colors. The blue and the yellow allow you to see where your complete data is or what. Oh my gosh, full color. It just looks fantastic. So let's check out that data real fast. So you just captured.
So where the person's sitting, you can see some data for the joystick and for the handle there. Mm-hmm. And then on this side, you can see a bit of the power source.
This could come into play if like somebody needs to build a safety cage around the thing. They can just scan it real quick and then they can design it all in CAD,
Yeah.
make their parts, install it.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. What's the next mode?
We're going to create a new project with the infrared adaptive mode. We're going to choose marker alignments with 1.5, well actually we're going to bring this down. Well, we can choose 1.5 millimeter resolution. Click start.
This is kind of a big deal what's happening now. We just switched from full infrared mode to an infrared adaptive laser mode, and then we're going to do a laser mode on top of that. So that's 3 scanners in one. You get all of these types of technologies in one unit, which is relatively unheard of. It's just really, really a good workflow. It's an all-in-one thing that you can take anywhere and scan whatever you need in any mode, full color too. And so like even on the back here, we don't have that many markers, but there's enough geometry for it to still track, yeah?
The field of view is large enough for it to capture all the surrounding data, even though there's no markers in that area.
That's sweet.
Okay, so now we've captured everything that wasn't scanned in the previous one, and everything else that we have not captured, which is the more high resolution parts that we want in higher resolution, we're going to capture that in the laser HD mode.
Nice.
So the next mode is the laser HD mode, which is perfect for capturing areas or objects in higher resolution as well. If we look at the settings on the scanner, you can see we can go down to 0.05 millimeter resolution, which is 50 microns. But of course, we don't need to go that high, so we can choose, let's say, 0.2 millimeter resolution. And with the alignment mode, and as we mentioned earlier in the video, you can also use feature alignment to scan as well. So we can also choose a hybrid setting, so we can use features and markers, or features and texture, or all 3 of them as well. So for this, we're just going to choose features and markers. And you can also turn on the color to scan high resolution data quality and also high resolution color.
This is the 101 lines.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So these are the 101 laser lines. So we'll start over here.
Now we only put a couple little markers in there, so the fact that it's even tracking with just that is pretty darn good. Okay, so this is a pretty good example where there's a bunch of different stuff going on, enough geometry for the 101 lines to recognize it without any markers at all. So despite being totally reflective, it's still capturing that rod and all the different details and everything around just based on the geometry. So no markers, no tracking markers, just going off of the curvatures and the shape of the actual object. Let's check out that data real quick. There we go. All right, all right. Not bad, not bad. Let's head back into the studio and then we'll come back out and do a full project. So there'll be a full video scanning this thing and more in depth on the features, but very nice. All right.
Yeah.
One major feature we didn't touch on that I love, that is a game changer, and I hope to see on all the Shining scanners soon. Not sure if it'll happen, but I'd like to see it, is the rewind feature. Mm-hmm. Now, rewind allows you to basically mid-scan, you can, oops, I got way more of the floor that I wanted scanning this car, or oops, I didn't want to get any of that. Let me go in and you can drag a slider basically and go backwards in your scan and watch the whole process. And, oh, okay, let me go to there, and then let me keep scanning from there again. That's huge because then you don't have to go inside and like delete extra data that you didn't realize you were getting or whatever. And so you can just, oops, no, let me just rescan that part. Previously, it'd be like, oh, oops, I had all this stuff. Let me go rescan that whole thing. Yeah. Just great workflow stuff. Yep. Great workflow stuff.
The rewind function is a huge improvement to user error and also hardware error, because sometimes you might scan something you don't want to scan, or you might make a mistake somewhere. And sometimes the hardware would also make a mistake somewhere. And for more symmetrical objects, it could be a little bit tricky for the scanner. And if you don't realize that beforehand, and you do end up capturing data over again that you don't want to see, back then you would have to start a new scan. Yep. But now we have the rewind function to make things easier. You can rewind to the point where you didn't capture that extraneous data, and then you can start over.
Phenomenal. Start
again.
Is that something you can tell us? Is that going to be integrated into the new softwares for like the FreeScan and the HX?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You heard it here first, guys. We got this feature coming to the whole line of the professional Einscan and FreeScan 3D scanners. Okay. Now, a lot of people ask too, like when it comes to, all right, I scanned my thing. Now I have this data, and it's either a point cloud or a mesh file, like an STL, OBJ, 3MF. It's one of those. Now those files often they don't import into SolidWorks or Fusion 360 just so easily. You can do some, especially in the lower res scans, but usually it'll crash a traditional CAD program.
Yep.
So you often do need an in-between type of software. Now we got two different softwares that we offer here at VisionMiner. One is XModel, which is actually from Shining 3D. You guys went and created this thing that is just a more streamlined experience for the non-CAD user. So if you're just getting into scanning for scanning and you're not like already a CAD expert, XModel is a really good option because it's just designed to turn your scan into a CAD model, into a parametric design. You're reverse engineering that scan file. And then, of course, there's DesignX and the whole spectrum of software from DesignX Go all the way up to full-on DesignX, ControlX for inspection and doing automated inspection, all sorts of stuff. So there is some software in between for you guys that are doing the full reverse engineering workflow. If you give us a call, we can give you a lot more details on that. And you can also check out the other videos we have here on YouTube detailing those products, who they're for, what they're best for. So be sure to check those out and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions, unless you have anything else to add, we can wrap this up. Yeah?
Yeah, that was great.
Cool. So if you guys have any questions at all, anything we didn't cover, anything you'd like to see done with this scanner, the incredible Einscan Libre, just let us know in the comments down below, or better yet, give us a call, shoot us an email. We are here to help businesses find the equipment that is going to save them money and time on their projects. And we do our best to be honest and transparent about that throughout the whole process, because relationships are the most important thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Eric, thank you so much for coming by
Thanks for having me.
Just helping inform everybody. It's been absolutely a pleasure. Have a positive rest of your day. I'll see you on the next
one.
video.